Hi, my name is Mike Bausch. I own Andolini's Pizzeria in Tulsa, Oklahoma, along with that Prossimo Ristorante and STG Gelateria. I own around 12 different concepts, and all of them purchased from Performance Food Group, a company that has supported me and that I trust and believe in for now over 15 years. We're going to talk about getting back in the kitchen and how to return to your kitchen in a safe way that's also profitable, that makes sure that you do things in a way and fashion that are the wisest decision. So let's do it. Here's me. I'm Mike Bausch. That's me throwing dough in front of a kid before all this COVID craziness. I love making pizza. I love being a part of my community, and I love restauranting. It's a verb. It's an art form of always being in action, whether it's making great food, marketing it smartly, handling the HR, handling cash flow, research and development, whatever it is. This is a very multifaceted business that has many, many moving parts. So, with the COVID crisis at our hands today, the first thing we're all concerned with is how do you make money during this? When it comes to making any decision about how you're going to sustain your business during this time, it's about making wise decisions. I'm not here to preach about opening up dine-in immediately or not doing that. You're going to have a lot of customers who have hard opinions on both. So that's why you need to make the wisest decision for your team, your business, and for yourself. When it comes to your team, are they wanting to go back to work? If so, great. How do you make sure they do it in a safe way? Is your business thriving with curbside? Then maybe you need to keep doing that and do it smart and expand upon it. And for yourself, are you in a position to work? Are you predisposed to potentially getting sick? Are you in an environment, whether it's near a hotbed of activity with the virus, that you need to not be out, or your business needs to not be out? Or are you having politicians and your government entities suggesting everyone get back to work? It's a constantly evolving status. What doesn't change is that you need to sit with yourself and your business and choose the wisest decision. And I say that because it's easy to get a short-term win. You could take a 50-person party tomorrow from a church that just wants a place to go and eat. And yes, you will make money that night. But will that reach social media? And you'll have a new problem on your hand that no one trusts your business. You got to make wise, long-term decisions so that you can sustain through this scenario. With all things that you do, hustle. The people who will survive this are the ones who are always working, the ones who are always looking for that next angle, whether it's the marketing, whether it's making sure that they have their forms filled out for any loans or any grants that are out with there. And with your team, really showing that you care about your business, whether you could be on site or not, that you're doing things for them and with them, making moves every day. Along with all that, seek opportunities. This is a downtime for some businesses. Downtime does not exist in an entrepreneur's manifesto. So what could you be doing right now that you've never had time to do? Are your recipes outdated? Do you even have your recipes written down? Do you have all your processes in a way that you like? Do you have the POS that's the right POS for your business? If you don't, it's a lot easier to change that POS company now than it would be later. If your social media platforms aren't set up the right way, you could take them down, manipulate them, and go back up now, and it might have less blowback than it would in another time. Again, look for the big projects that you've always wanted to do, but maybe didn't have the opportunity for, and take them on now. To get money back into your store, especially if you don't have dine-in and you're not selling alcohol or the things that are your normal that you are not able to do, you're going to want to seek ulterior cash infusions. So let's get into some. Gift cards are an obvious one. If you don't have a gift card supplier, there's many that will work with you, whether or not you have a POS system. Assuming you do have a POS system and you already have a gift card system in place, there's ways to make it a win-win in this environment. I personally am doing a $25 gift card, of which $5 goes to an employee fund for all my current and furloughed employees. That is not managed by me, but managed by one of my area director, where I was able to see the funds and then he divvies them out so that there is accountability to the fund group. And the funds are given out on a case-by-case basis. I had one kid who needed a new license so that he could go out and do Uber driving. I had another employee who just needed groceries for their family. By doing this program, instead of people just buying gift cards and supporting our business, they're supporting our business and our staff, which makes them more inclined to purchase said gift cards and give us the cash infusion we need while also doing something very good. Membership. Pay now, win later. What I mean by that, in a membership setup, you can get a cash infusion for someone to buy something later, akin to a gift card. But let me digress. If you were to say lunch for free for the rest of the year with this membership card, you just need to spend $200 now. Some people will take you up on that. This is going to be case by case to your economics, but Olive Garden did this with the Unlimited Pasta Forever card. I personally did a program called the Holiday Pizza Gift Book in December where I sell 10 pizzas for half of their normal price, 10 large pizzas, via certificates that people could use for the next 6 months. This might be a good time to do that, or something that pertains to your brand where you sell an item in bulk over $100 that's applicable to be used at a later course of time at a deep discount. This can give you the cash infusion you need right now. Along with that, I have doubled the donation. So if we have a hospital that someone wants to buy 50 pizzas for, 50 pizzas could be at $10 a pizza, a nice $500 chunk of change. I will then give them another 50 pizzas on me. Now, the actual food cost, if it's less than 20%, would assume that I'm at $2 a pizza, so I'm at $100 of my own loss of funds, but I have many more people inclined to buy pizzas from me than some other person or some other company, so that I could do the most good, get them the most bang for their buck, and they could tag it on their social media along with ours and make it a double win. This gives a cash infusion and also great brand recognition. You could potentially even get some press off it if you play it right in your own demo. These are ways to get money now. And you need money now. You need money for several reasons. Obviously, for the normal ones, that it's a business and you're always going to need money, but you're going out on a limb without dining. Depending on if you're a pizzeria, a regular dining restaurant, a Mexican restaurant, Chinese, whatever you're doing, you don't have the ability to do what you normally did. And if you're an alcohol-based establishment, that's out the window, except for certain states that are allowing it to be delivered. You're not getting the opportunity to upsell. You do have the opportunity right now to think outside the box, do things differently, and make some real cash so you can survive. Not many businesses are going to roll in cash outside of this viral scenario. Yes, Zoom is going to do well, but as far as restaurants are concerned, you want to stem the loss. If you have had to furlough staff, your goal is to make sure you can still pay all your bills and get by. A cash infusion is not free money, but along with these gift cards and these membership programs, not so much to double the donation, there is less likely to have a return. So if you have a 50% return rate on a gift card at $25, of which $20 is going to you, but only 50% of it ever gets used, that right there is $10 free for each of those 50% customers that never came to you. So, sanitation. Sanitation is extremely important. You're in a restaurant. It was always important to begin with. It's at a different level right now. You have to encourage your staff to wear masks. In fact, make it mandatory. No one is not going to come to you because your staff is in masks. That belief is a fallacy. People and customers will go to the restaurants that they feel safe at. Is it uncomfortable? Yes. Is it a nuisance? Sure. But You are not in a position to make the customer feel uncomfortable. You are in the hospitality industry. The hospitality industry makes people feel that you are being hospitable to them and taking into account their needs, which right now is to feel safe with what they're eating. So gloves, hand washing, of course, but with masks. Anyone in front of a customer has to be wearing a mask. If you're sending in an item into an oven and you're not touching the final product, and there's a glass barrier between you and anyone else that would be coming into contact with the food, yes, you can get by on not having a mask for that individual. So someone deep in the kitchen that no one's seeing that is not making final product, okay. But you're still putting yourself at risk. Anyone touching final product, they gotta be in a mask. And they have to wear gloves. Anyone going out to bring food curbside, if you don't have that person in a mask, you're screwing up. Other best practices, have your pens, if you have to use a pen to have the customer sign the check, have the pens in a sanitized and waiting to be sanitized bucket. Or just give the customer the pen. In the sanitized place, you would give the customer the pen, and then when they hand it back to you, have a cup that says waiting to be sanitized that they put that into, so the customer sees it and it's obvious that you're not reusing pens. It might seem excessive to 95% of the population, but the 5% of the population that it doesn't seem excessive to now has loyalty to you, and that translates into dollars. Dollars that you need now more than ever. The people that might even find it excessive are not going to be turned off from coming back to you. So that's fine. You need to have 100% satisfaction, and you'll only do that by making all customers, germaphobes, anyone, feel that they're in the safest environment. And it's not germophobia, it's real right now. But to the people who live in that state all the time, it's not going away. Sanitizer upon entry. You can Lysol spray all items coming into the restaurant or wash them. I had a doctor come to my facility and I said, what are our best practices? They said, anyone who goes outside, when they come back in, they gotta Lysol their shoes, just like it's a hospital. That is the most fervent way to kill any virus that they would bring in with them. You might feel it to be excessive, you might feel it to be perfectly normal in this environment. Regardless, that's perception right now. You don't know if it's enough or too much, but I'd sure rather it be too much than not enough. Along with that, another great best practice is an A or B team. In this environment, if you have the means to have a team that is working all together and then another group that works all together on a few other days of the week, so that way if someone gets sick, you can then delete your B team and keep your A team, you will be able to avoid disaster and fully close your restaurant if one of the teams becomes sick, you're not fully down. If you have a fully intermingled group and someone gets sick, you're looking at 14 days without any revenue. Additionally, if you have staff that travel store to store, you can have multiple stores down as a result of this. So be smart with teams during this time. Another sanitation protocol that we've taken on is creating tamper-proof packaging. There's a lot out there that already existed and some easy stuff that you can make even if you don't have ideal tamper-proof packaging. So if you could put a sticker on the product when it's done that creates a seal, whether it be a pizza box or a to-go box, that way the customer, when they get their product delivered or when they pick it up, know that this is how it was finished and it wasn't opened again by someone else. In an ideal scenario, there's bags that have a wax liner on the top that tightens up and the whole bag is now protected. Performance does sell them. I've seen them available, and it's a great product if you could integrate it now, but I'm sure that they're in short supply. So for right now, immediate move, get a sticker. I have made a logoed sticker. It's about 8 inches long by 1 inch wide, so it'll fully wrap around any product I have and make the customer know that they are the first one to open the product since it came out of my kitchen. Marketing. You have a confined audience. They are on their phones all the time right now. You can do daily updates to Facebook, Instagram, everything, and people are looking at it. People at home need something to do. Our pizza kit has been a massive win. By having a few doughs, some pepperoni, sauce and cheese, and then explanation of how to cook this at home, now the customer gets to have fun with their kids, especially if they're locked at home with their kids while their kids don't have school to go to. And you're going to endear yourself to that audience along with provide them something to do and make money on it. I'm charging $25 for 3 dough balls, some sauce, and some cheese. It's very profitable and it's a win. Formerly, you would never want to do too many emails in a week. In this scenario, you could double whatever you were doing, and hopefully what you were doing wasn't zero, but if you were doing one, you can definitely get away with two. I'm doing 3. You could do one every day. You might have some opt-outs, but you'll also have a lot of people that are bored and they're looking at what you're putting out. If the content you put out is interesting, they're likely to not delete you and have you top of mind when they make their dinner decision. To be top of mind, to be interesting, be involved in your community. A great way to market here, you can see us providing food to a church where my staff is gloved up in a mask. We've pre-made several items and churchgoers are rolling up, picking it up, and we're talking about the church that we came out and that they supported us and that we're supporting people and that we donated some food as a result of this. It's a win all around and people want to see the story, the real story, not some corporate overlord that doesn't care about their community. You, the person that lives in the community, monetize that, monopolize it because you have that David versus Goliath advantage that you live where you live and you're supporting actual real businesses by being one yourself. Let the customer, let your staff, let everyone know that you are in this with them and people are likely to believe you, want to support you, and you will endear yourself to that community. Vendor relationships. Listen, I know it's hard when money is tight to pay bills, but you got to be honest. You got to stay straight with vendors. Paying people on time is how you maintain not only your ability to produce, but the relationship is predicated upon trust. If you truly can't pay something, be honest. Say, hey, here's where I'm at. Here's where I believe I will be at in a week. What can we do? Don't say, yeah, check's in the mail, and the check isn't in the mail. It's shady, and it leads to people not trusting you. If you support a business and they have your back, then they will have your back at some point if you could support each other. If you lie, then don't ever expect them to support you in the future. Make sure you're honest and you state your scenario cleanly. Plan out what you can't pay and prioritize payments. That means look at all the things that you have on auto pay, ACH debits that are just automatically pulling from your account and say, okay, do I really need to pay that this month? Or is that something we could push versus our rent and taxes and the funds that we need to get out the door so that way we could, pay the government and not get shut down. If it gets to that point, make sure you have your payment priorities in order and you're honest with your vendors. And don't be a pirate. Pirates always got to where they needed to go in a pirate ship, but a pirate ship restaurant does not make for a successful restaurant. Be a law-abiding, ethical business and you will survive longer as a result. So, to all the businesses out there listening to this, I want to say thank you on behalf of me and also on behalf of PFG, and thank you to PFG. PFG has always been very tight and very supportive of us when things have not been great, and we want to maintain that relationship to what I just mentioned about vendor relations and keep things moving forward. Again, paying our bills on time is something I'm very proud we were able to do. We were able to do it because we marketed effectively during this crisis. And instead of just assuming the world was, hopeless and we couldn't do anything about it, we hustled and we focused in and did things that were win-wins. Wins for the community, wins for our staff, and obviously wins for us. I look forward to having my furloughed employees back on our team, but by moving and making wise decisions throughout this whole process, we knew we'll survive it and restaurants will be back and thriving in months to come. That is my belief. Thank you so very much, and be safe.